Hello everybody, welcome to our take and make craft. We'll be making either a sock snowman or a sock penguin. Let me go over what's in your kit. In each kit you have a bag of rice, one sock, a piece of fabric for your scarf, a long piece of string, and in this little cup you have super glue, buttons, Google eyes, and a little ball for the top of your hat. And then the felt piece to make the penguin body. This is only in the penguin kit, not in the snowman kit. So we're gonna start by filling up our sock. I put a little bit in there already. And we're gonna fill up right about to where the heel is. It doesn't take a ton of rice, but it is time consuming. I suggest leaving your sock intact. I don't like to cut it until I'm done because that way I can get the sock around a small cup. I tried to use funnels, but the rice just doesn't like to go down the funnel very well. All right, so we've got our little, I'm gonna put one more in there just for kicks. Like I said, I like a fat little snowman. Okay, so now that we have that full, we're gonna sort of shake it down a little bit, and we're gonna take a piece of our string and we're going to tie off right where the rice ends. So put your string around the sock and tie it good and snug, right as close to the rice as you can get. Once you tie your knot, you're just gonna make sure it's nice and tubby, and then just cut off your string pieces. And then we're gonna cut about, I would say, 1/2 inch away from where we tied it off. And we're gonna save this piece for later, so just set that aside. Now you're gonna take your little ball of rice here and form where you think you want the neck formed a little bit like so. And you're gonna take another piece of string and you're gonna tie that neck off. Now, you don't wanna tie this too tight or the head will flop back and forth. Just tight enough so it keeps its shape, but not so tight you're gonna make its head wobble. Nobody wants a wobbly head. All right, so that's nice and tight, and then just cut off the excess. There we go. So now at this point, for people with penguins, this is the point where you're gonna put that white felt piece right over your penguin, like so. Line up your neck with your neck and then just glue that right on. But for snowmen, we don't need that part, so we can just keep going. So I like to do the scarf first because that way I can decide where I want my buttons to be. So I have a piece of ribbon. I'm gonna go right over where we had our string tied. And you have a few choices here. You can tie a knot. You can just cross it over and glue it. You can do just about anything you like. In this case, because it's a very thick piece of ribbon, I am going to hot glue it on. So I'm gonna put a little bit of glue, get that in its spot, and then I'm gonna tighten it and go right over the top. Now, in your kits, you have super glue, but if you have a hot glue gun, I do think it works a little bit better. At this point, you can just cut off your excess. Now you can just tilt that down, and then you can see where you'd like your buttons to be. I find that putting the glue on the snowman or penguin itself works much better than trying to get the glue on the teeny tiny pieces and then setting them into place. So I'm gonna put my buttons right in the middle, I think. And I'm actually using glitter hot glue so it sort of sparkles through the button a little bit. You can get it at the dollar store, it's really cheap. You stick your little buttons. There we have our buttons. Now, got to take a look at his head and decide where you would like your eyes to be. I like my eyes closed. I think it makes for a cuter face. However you want to do your eyes, you do your eyes. So I got 1, 2, and as you can see, I have my eyes pretty close together. We're going to take a pin. I think I'm going to get a green one just to offset the red ribbon. And I am going to poke that straight pin right where my nose is going to be. Now we're going to make our hat. You remember the piece of leftover sock you had. Take your other piece of string, if you have enough string left, and you're going to turn your sock inside out. And you're going to take the rough end, not the finished end. Take the rough end and tie that around the end. This is what's going to make kind of your little point on your hat there. So tie that nice and tight. You can trim off the excess or leave it there. It's going to be under the hat, so it really doesn't matter. And if you think there's a little too much excess, you can just clip that off as well. And then you're going to turn your hat right side out. Now you have your little stocking cap. And in your supplies, I've provided you with a little pom-pom, and I've also supplied you with a little bell. So you can decide which one you want to put on. I think in this case, I'm going to use the pom-pom. So then you're just going to stick more glue, put your pom-pom on there, hold it for a second, and then we're going to put this hat on our snowman's head. You can even turn up the edge if you like to make sort of a brim. You can use different colored socks to make the hats. Honestly, all of these socks are from the dollar store. You could get fuzzy red socks to make a hat. You can get any color you like. I just kind of flap it over, and there we have our very own sock snowman. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed this craft. Stay tuned for more, and please share your creations with us. Tag us on Facebook or Instagram if you're going to post it. We would love to see how yours turned out as well. Thanks. Have a good night.